Chapter 13. Dr. Naomi Hunter sat at her computer terminal and avoided looking at Campbell when Snake transmitted a message.
"Colonel, the ninja is Gray Fox, no doubt about it."
The erstwhile colonel replied,
"That's ridiculous, Snake. You of all people know he died in Zanzibar land."
"No," Dr. Hunter whispered. "No, he didn't."
"Did you say something, Dr. Hunter?"
Campbell asked. "He didn't die," she repeated. "He should have died, but he didn't." Campbell blinked.
What?
He left his finger on the transmit button so that Snake could hear. She swiveled in her chair and faced him. "It happened before I joined Foxhound's medical staff. They were using a soldier for their gene therapy experiments."
"I never heard that, Dr. Hunter."
"It happened right after you retired. My predecessor, Dr. Clark, was in charge and started the gene therapy project." Over the codec, Snake's voice sounded strained.
"And where is he now?"
"You mean she. 2 years ago she was killed in an explosion in her lab."
"So what about this soldier they used?"
Snake asked. The doctor turned the chair again so that the colonel could not see how upset she was. "Apparently, for their test subject, they decided to use the body of a soldier who was recovered after the fall of Zanzibar land."
"And that was Gray Fox? Frank Yeager?"
Campbell interrupted.
"But he was already dead."
Naomi Hunter could barely contain her anger. "Yes, but they revived him. They fitted him with a prototype exoskeleton and kept him drugged for 4 years while they experimented on him like a plaything. Today's genome soldiers were born from those experiments." Campbell took a seat for the first time since Snake had left the submarine.
"That's the sickest thing I've ever heard."
"They used him to test all sorts of gene therapy techniques." Her eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall onto her cheeks.
"Naomi,"
Snake said,
"why didn't you tell us about this sooner?"
"Because it's confidential information."
"Is that the only reason?"
When she didn't answer, Campbell asked,
"Naomi, what happened to Gray Fox after that?"
She shrugged. "The record says he died in the explosion along with Dr. Clark." Campbell rubbed his chin.
I see. But even if that ninja is Gray Fox, the question is, why? Why is he here?"
"From what I could tell, he didn't know who he was,"
Snake remarked.
"Are you saying he's just a mindless robot?"
Campbell inquired.
"I'm not sure, but he seems intent on fighting me to the death. We'll meet again, I know it."
"So you'll fight again?" Naomi asked. "Until you kill him?"
"I'd rather not, but maybe that's what he wants."
Snake signed off and entered the procedure room. Dr. Emmerich had not done a very good job of hiding inside a cabinet, for the tail end of his engineer's white lab coat stuck out from under the door. Snake knocked.
"How long are you gonna stay in there?"
Emmerich's voice sounded muffled and frightened. Are you one of them?"
"No, I'm not. I always work alone."
"Alone? Are you an otaku too?" Snake didn't know what the hell the man was talking about.
"Come on, get out of there. We can't stay here forever."
The door opened. Dr. Emmerich was sitting on the floor of the cabinet, his knees to his chest. His glasses were askew, and his eyes were wide with fear. Your uniform's different from theirs."
"You're the Metal Gear chief engineer, right? Hal Emmerich."
You know me?
I heard about you from Merrill.
Oh, so you're here to rescue me.
For the first time, Emmerich smiled. He got up and came out of the cabinet, bringing with him the pungent smell of urine, but the scientist didn't appear to be concerned about his wet pants.
Sorry, but no. There's something I've got to do first.
Emmerich brushed off his coat and shrugged.
Oh well, at least you're not one of them.
He walked across the room with a noticeable limp and sat in a chair.
Are you hurt?
I'm okay. I just twisted my ankle a little trying to get away.
Well, if that's all, then there's nothing to worry about. Listen, I need information about Metal Gear.
Emmerich lifted his head in surprise.
Huh? Metal Gear?
Yeah. What's Metal Gear really designed for?
It's a mobile TMD, you know? Theater Missile Defense System. It's designed to shoot down nuclear missiles. For defensive purposes, of course.
Snake grabbed the man by his coat lapels.
Liar! I already know that Metal Gear is nothing but a nuclear-equipped walking deathmobile.
Emmerich flinched, expecting to be hit.
Nuclear? What are you talking about?
The terrorists are planning to use Metal Gear to launch a nuclear missile. You telling me you didn't know?
What? How can they do that?
You tell me.
The only way would be to put a dismantled warhead into Metal Gear's TMD missile module.
Wrong.
Snake released him, and the engineer fell back into the chair.
From the beginning, the purpose of this exercise was to test Metal Gear's nuclear launch capability using a dummy nuclear warhead. The terrorists are just continuing the work you started.
No, you're wrong.
I heard it directly from your boss, Baker.
No, a nuclear missile on Rex?
He shook his head, first in denial and then in apprehension. Snake studied the man. He was a pretty good judge in determining whether someone was telling the truth.
So, you really didn't know?
No. All the armament was built by a separate department, and the ArmsTech president personally supervised the final assembly with the main unit.
President Baker?
Yeah. I was never told exactly what they armed Rex with. I only know it's equipped with a Vulcan cannon, a laser, and a railgun.
A railgun?
Yeah, it uses magnets to fire bullets at extremely high velocities. The technology originally was developed for the SDI system and later scrapped. We were successful in miniaturizing it in a joint venture between ArmsTech and Rivermore National Labs. The railgun is on Rex's right arm.
Metal Gear's main function is to launch nuclear missiles. You sure you're not forgetting something?
Well, it's true that Metal Gear has a missile module on his back that can carry up to 8 missiles, but are you saying it was originally meant to carry nuclear weapons?
Yeah,
Snake answered. He sat on a workstation and noticed for the first time the posters on the walls featuring Japanese anime and video game characters. He then faced the engineer and added,
"But that's not all, I think. If Metal Gear fired only standard nuclear missiles, then they should already have all the practical data they need."
Emmerich rubbed his brow.
No, could it be?
He snapped his fingers and looked at Snake.
Rivermore National Labs was working on a new type of nuclear weapon. They were using NOVA and NIF laser nuclear fusion testing equipment and supercomputers.
He stood and limped to a bank of machines in the main laboratory, and Snake followed him.
These are some of the supercomputers. You can't use virtual data on a battlefield. They would need actual launch data. If you link these computers, you can test everything in a virtual environment. But it's all just theoretical.
Snake knew it was true.
This exercise was designed to test the real thing.
Emmerich leaned against the computer bank, removed his glasses, and rubbed his eyes.
Oh man, what did our president do? If the terrorists launched that thing, damn!
He dropped to his knees and began to bang his head on the floor.
I'm such a fool! It's all my fault!
Snake didn't enjoy watching a grown man cry. He turned away and sat in another chair.
My grandfather!
What?
Emmerich wiped the tears off his face.
My grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. You know, where they created the atom bomb. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life. And my father, he was born on August 6, 1945.
Snake understood.
The day of the Hiroshima bomb. God's got a sense of humor, all right.
3 generations of Emmerich men. We must have the curse of the nuclear weapons written into our DNA.
He started crying again.
Oh, I used to think I could use science to help mankind, but the one that wound up getting used was me. Using science to help mankind. That's just in stupid movies.
Snake leaned forward and snapped.
That's enough crying. Pull yourself together.
The engineer took a few deep breaths and then sat cross-legged on the floor. He wiped his face again and after a moment seemed to be better.
Where is Metal Gear?
Snake asked.
Where on this base are they keeping it?
Rex is in the underground maintenance base.
Where's that?
North of the communication tower. It's a long way there.
The emergency override system for the detonation code is there too?
Yeah, in the base's control and observation room.
He quickly got to his feet.
Gee, you'd better hurry. If they were planning a launch from the start, then their ballistic program is probably finished. And since they haven't called me in a few hours, they must not need me anymore. They must be ready to launch.
Snake stood.
Meryl's got the detonation code override key. We'll link up with her.
If we can't override this launch, we'll have to destroy Rex.
He started to limp towards the door.
I'll show you the way.
On that leg of yours? No way. You'll just slow me down.
But you'll need me if you're gonna destroy Rex.
I don't need you. I just need your brain.
I created Rex. It's my right and my duty to destroy it.
You'll help me remotely. That's the best I can do for you.
Emmerich was about to protest more, but the scruffy man in the dark uniform intimidated him.
All right. I wish EE were here to help us. She's great at computer programming.
Who's EE?
My sister Emma. Emma Emmerich. Well, her full name is Emma Emmerich Danziger. She works for the government too. Systems analyst for the NSA. Oh well, she and I don't get along too well anyway. We haven't spoken in a long time.
Snake couldn't help oozing sarcasm.
Then I guess she won't be too much help to us, huh?
He walked to the lab door and looked into the hallway.
If you get a chance, try to escape. When the coast is clear, I'll contact you by codec. I see you have one.
Emmerich nodded, but then asked,
How am I supposed to escape from an island?
Snake exhaled heavily.
Okay, good point.
So what then?
I want you to hide somewhere and keep me informed. You know this place well, don't you?
Of course I do. And don't worry, I've got this.
Emmerich manipulated something on his lab coat and suddenly vanished. It's the same stealth technology as the ninja. Foxhound was going to use them, but with this, I'll be fine, bad leg and all. He reappeared and grinned. Snake was impressed, but then he said, "So why didn't you activate the stealth when the ninja was after you? Why did you hide in the closet?" Emmerich's mouth dropped open. Gee, I guess I was so scared. I didn't think about it. You're right. Yeah, so don't forget about it next time. And I want Meryl to watch after you too. He punched in her code. Meryl. Yeah? Where were you earlier? I had company, but it's okay now. Meryl, the engineer's all right. Oh, that's a relief. I want you to look after him. Where are you now? Very close. In fact, Oh no, gotta go. They've spotted me. Meryl, what happened? But she had switched off. Damn, something's wrong. I gotta go find her. When did you last see her? I dunno. Earlier today? What was she wearing? She was dressed in the same green uniform as the terrorists. He moved his eyebrows up and down. She has a cute way of walking. She kinda wiggles her behind. Oh, so you were really looking. Well, she has a cute behind. If she's disguised as the enemy, then you'll have to contact her when she's alone. There's only one place we can be sure she's by herself. Where's that? Emmerich made a face. Don't be so dense. He fished something out of his pocket and handed it to him. Here, use this security card. It's a level 5. As soon as Snake took the card, he remembered what had happened to the last 2 men who had given him pan keys. You feel okay? Nothing bothering you? He approached Emmerich and looked closely into the man's eyes. What's wrong? Getting friendly all of a sudden? Nothing. He stepped back, embarrassed. I'm glad you're okay. Emmerich laughed a little. He said, You're strange, but in a good way. I'm a little nervous. Everyone else I've saved suddenly dies. Your bad luck, I guess. Forget it, Doctor. Call me Otacon. Huh? Otacon. It stands for Otaku Convention. An otaku is a guy like me who likes Japanimation. Anime. Japan was the first country to successfully make bipedal robots. They're still the best in the field of robotics. Snake figured he now knew why Emmerich seemed like such a nerd. And Japanese cartoons played some part in that? They did. I didn't get into science to make nuclear weapons, you know. That's what all the scientists say. I became a scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in Japanese anime. Really, it's true. It just sounds like a childish excuse to me. Otacon shrugged. You're right. We have to take responsibility. Science has always thrived on war. The greatest weapons of mass destruction were created by scientists who wanted to be famous. But that's all over. I won't take part in murder anymore. Whatever. All I want from you is information when I ask for it. I'll be there for you, Mr. What is your name, by the way? Solid Snake. Snake? Gee, the terrorist boss is named Snake too. I know. Coincidence, huh? Yeah. You kinda look like him too. I guess you'd better get going. Stay put and keep safe, Otacon, Snake said. Don't worry. the engineer said. He flicked on the stealth apparatus and disappeared. Snake heard his voice move away across the room. "They'll never find me now. You be careful too." Snake left the room and headed back through the hall of dead soldiers to the elevator. The next step was to find Meryl. And when he found her, he didn't know if he wanted to spank her for disobeying him or kiss her if she was alive and unhurt. Maybe he'd do both.